I'm camped out in the boat tonight. The bimini top is covering the back half, and I've got this old tent fly kind of strapped around me here. Of course, the mining gear off to one side, and just a bunch of trinkets over here. Very peaceful. Minimal bugs. Well, I made it to 6:30 in the morning, and it looks like my sort of waterproof tent is letting a little bit of water splash on me. I slept pretty much until now, though. Problem is, this is a pretty old tarp, and then of course it's falling on here and sort of splashing in. But overall, not a bad little setup. Just have this sort of pinned onto the front of the boat over the bimini top. 6:30 in the morning, and the rain has come. This is night one. Out camping inside my boat. This is my bimini top, of course. And then I've just got a bungee cord holding this. It actually just hooks to the far end of the bimini. And this is an old tent fly that I've got sort of strapped up here. It's not entirely waterproof. One of the issues is the rain's coming in at a slight angle, and so with the distance between the bimini and the edge, it's sort of hitting this and splashing in. So it got my sleeping bag just a little bit wet. I'm not wet on the inside. This is just surface wetness because the rain's only really picked up right now, but not ideal. And then the other issue, which seems to be quite an issue, is you may see this little puddle of water here that's dripping in. The lip at the front isn't much of a lip, and so all the water that's, pooling up at the front of the boat is kind of just pouring off into here. There's a bit of a lip, so it's not as bad as it could be, but it's an area of improvement. Overall, a pretty good sleep last night. The rain only really started hard in the last hour here, but the slight lack of waterproofness of this shelter, again, I didn't actually plan this. I just took the tarp just in case and sort of made it up last night because I thought the weather looked perfect, like it wasn't going to rain. I was wrong, but here we are. I think I'm going to get up just so as to not get too soaked in my sleeping bag here, and put on all my rain gear, which I did bring, and we're going to head over to another river because yesterday was just a bust. This setup is actually really nice. With the new floor in the boat, it's comfortable. So I think that it would be worth looking into something more sturdy, or like get some, I don't know how exactly I'll go about doing it, but this setup works. And then the bimini is what's above the camera right now, and it just sort of keeps, like, this is a very usable space, even with all my high banking gear kind of like taking up room. Totally sweet. So I'm gonna have some of these butter toffee peanuts that I picked up at the grocery store on the way out here. And instead of packing up a wet tent, I'm basically just gonna fold up this tarp, huck it in the corner, let it stay wet, who cares? And we'll see you on the next river. Later on today, of course. Sure do love mornings on the river. I'm at the new river. The mosquitoes here are ridiculous. Like, I've just soaked myself. I literally had a bath in a 55-gallon drum of pure mosquito spray
and they're still just bumping into me, hovering around me. It's insane. As the sun comes out here, hopefully, I don't know if you guys can see these, but they're just relentless. This is lemon meringue pie, nice and cool lemon meringue pie that I was keeping in my cooler seat. And that's just to bring the spirits up, because I haven't had any gold yet that's worth taking. So I can eat this, get some wind in my hair to hopefully have a brief reprieve from these mosquitoes. And then I think that's going to be the man versus nature challenge of this trip, is going to be mosquitoes and rain. Damn, that's good. Found gold. Let me point the camera at the good stuff here. So right here is roughly 100 colors, and they're fine colors. And that was from, you know, like typical one shovel kind of thing right here, there. And then up there, where am I pointing? There. That was closer to 50 colors, and so it actually does concentrate a little bit more right here. And I'm just going to check the water's edge. And then, of course, working up the gravel bar, there's another 100 color spot over right by my boat there. But it was a really, really thin streak. Like, it was like, you know, a foot wide, and really nothing, like 30 colors on either side of it, or 0 colors up and 30 colors down. Whereas here we've got sort of 50 and 100. It's a little wider spread. This might be worth setting up.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and fuck all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down.
I dug a little bit of a trench here, having it go down and around the side. You are supposed to not directly discharge your water right into the water course, so I basically can't set the high banker in the river. They're a lot stricter about this in BC. Here, your tailings pond can overflow, but you do want to give all of the sediment a chance to sort of settle. So as this moves, you're going to see a whole bunch of fine sand here, and you basically just dig the sand and use that to form the dike, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you're done, you'll notice that there's a huge amount of sort of silt and sediment that's dumped out on your what would this be, the fine tailings side of your sluice. And then of course the coarse tailings side, there isn't any water there, it's just gravel that dumps. So that's why I've got it set up in this way. My box this year, how very interesting. It is a double level high banker. I don't think I'm going to need both levels at this location, just because I'm going to be, you know, it's a lot of walking and digging, and it's not a very thick layer. So I'll show you how easy it is to remove your top box. There it is. Now the bottom box, I've got these two little pieces of aluminum with little, what would you call those, angle-y bits, and then the same rivets that the top sits on, just so that this entire carpet doesn't just slide out of the box. These guys go in like so. That's going to hold my expanded on top of this backed miner's moss. It's the same thing as what you'd see in normal miner's moss, but it's got a backing on it. And the total thickness, like as I squeeze that with my finger, this is about half as thick as the old sort of green proper miner's moss that I had before. Now, the advantage to that is when you're running very slow, like you're just trying to get that powder gold, you don't move a lot of water through your sluice. And I noticed that the miner's moss, the bottom half of it wasn't even exchanging. It was just all plugged up with like blonde sand, not even black sand. So I was carrying home twice the concentrates I needed to, just because it was only the surface that was actually doing the, sorting around. So this is pretty good stuff, and you take home a little less concentrates while still getting all the benefits of miner's moss. I did put this 1-inch raised expanded aluminum up top, and that's new to me. I'm going to see how that works. Up here we've got the blaster nozzle, and of course we're still running the Grizzly. So I'm basing this off of the Pop and Sun sluice, which is an 1.5 inch slope, 15 to 20 gallons per minute per 12-inch sluice width. So because I'm running a single sluice, or a single level, this is only a 12-inch sluice, I'm going to get my pump set up. I'm going to put my little tailings bucket down here, and I time how long it takes to fill with water, and that's how I know that I'm in that 15 to 20 gallon per minute range. I've had that mosquito coil and thermocell running for the last half an hour. I don't know if you guys can see. I mean, there's just an absolute swarm of mosquitoes all the way around me. This is horrible. In other news, the high banker is running nicely. I just came over here to get some more mosquito spray, and I'm gonna dig a whole bunch, and I will show you a picture of the mat, see if we can see any gold showing up.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God, they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to win the crown. I won't stop with these fucking cowards. I'm told they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Experiment with 5-gallon buckets now. Go a little further down this streak. There's a pay streak here. I'll show you with my shovel. It's basically this gravel right here. This sand doesn't have anything in it, and if you dig through the layer of sand, the gravel underneath isn't that amazing. It's basically right here, a really narrow pay streak. And my high banker is far, far away. I'm getting to that point where I'm sort of walking several steps on each side of it within the pay streak. It's probably not that good of a pay streak that I shouldn't really be shoveling anyways, except that I really wanted to actually do something at this river so I can take it home and be like, look, I found gold from spot X. I'm gonna see how many shovels fit into these buckets and hike them down. There's a line along here and behind the camera a little bit. So I'm hoping to get 4 or 5 buckets. I'm gonna stockpile it next to the high banker rather than leave it running the whole time while I'm doing this. And then I can slowly feed it in with a shovel when I'm there, at which point I think I'm pretty much done at this spot. I'm gonna do a clean out, have a quick peek, you know, preemptively look at if there's any gold in there. And I'm booking it downriver. I do not feel like spending the night out here and putting up a tent and getting into that tent surrounded by mosquitoes. So I'm gonna go sleep in my car because I'm probably only a 5-10 minute boat ride downriver from here. So I'm gonna get these buckets stockpiled, run the last bit of tonight, and then retreat from this ridiculous situation and see if I have some better luck at a different river tomorrow. Oh boy. Oh, see what I've gotten myself into. Oh boy, that's got some weight. Oh. All right, next time, maybe 2/3 of the way up. Yeah, I'll stockpile it. See how that works. Well, I'm just gonna run it. No visible gold in the La Trappe. Moving up to this, there's definitely nice piles of black sand. This is just loaded full of black sand as well. Even right at the very top of the box, I mean, I'm with my eyes not seeing any gold. I'll let this run for a while, so any gold would be sort of buried down deeper. But I mean, if you are running really, really good ground, you'll actually see the gold even in that type of recovery. But it's also really good at just burying stuff. And these mosquitoes are really good at burying themselves into me. They keep biting me between the fingers or like around my eyelids, because that's the only spot I haven't really just doused myself with. Maybe I should douse myself with gasoline and light myself on fire. That'll show these mosquitoes. Yeah, maybe not worth it. But I'm gonna do this cleanup and then retreat. I figured instead of storing the La Trappe in separate concentrates and weighing it properly, I'd pan it out. I'd do a little rough back pan. And I'm finding like very, very, very little gold. So that means the rest of the box seems to be doing pretty good. I just reapplied more mosquito spray. This isn't even funny anymore. Yeah, don't like those things. Where is my bucket of water? Oh yeah, there's nothing on it though. Okay. Oh yeah. A tiny little bit of visible gold. You get the idea what I'm doing here. I'll just show you a couple little specks. There's a piece right center camera on a little pile. So there will be gold once I pan through everything. A little bit more right up there. This is my bucket full of concentrates. So that's 3 foot long recovery by 24 inches wide. So not bad. And then I took this amount and just I've been back panning it, and you can see here that there is in fact gold in my concentrates. Some bigger chunks there too, actually. That's pretty cool. And there's a little bit mixed in down with the black sand down here still. But that is all basically just going to go back into here, so you can see the amount that's there versus the amount that's there. I might actually have over a gram here, which would be fantastic, but I gotta get out of here. Is the rain's just getting more and more, and because of the clouds and stuff, it's getting darker a little sooner, and I still gotta pack up the high banker, put everything back together for tomorrow, because tomorrow gotta get back at it, just hopefully find a little better gold. Quite a strong breeze is actually keeping the mosquitoes away now, and there's a break in the rain so I can actually film. I think the way I'm gonna break this trip up, because it's gonna be a 4-day trip, is this clean out. I'm gonna end the video here, but I am gonna show you the gold. So when I do the clean out, I'll show this clean out at the end of this video, and then whatever I get up to tomorrow, that will have its own clean out. So if that is the case, let's head back to Calgary and see how much gold we got from today's digging. Really, it was only about 2 hours that I was digging, I just wanted to do something in the afternoon, but it's already about 7:30 here, and I want to get back and try to camp out in my car. I don't know if you guys are able to see this on camera, but like, I've been out camping for 36 years, and I have never had a mosquito issue this bad. I'm currently hotboxing my car with a thermocell and a mosquito coil. I'm sitting next to one, and this is just absolutely ridiculous. No amount of DEET can solve this problem. I've had a mosquito land on my eyelashes. Get off my camera. Because that's the only spot I'm not like literally eye dropping DEET into my face. I opened the door to my car. I'm like, cool, I'll have some reprieve in here. I close the door, just like getting in, I counted 20 mosquitoes in there. It's this goes beyond what I can do. So I'm gonna fold this thing up because I have to do highway speeds. Get anything I don't want completely soaked into the car, and yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna survive this, but I'm definitely gonna go sleep in the car once I hotbox out all the mosquitoes. I don't know what to do, but tomorrow will be a fun day. That's for sure. I might have to go buy some more heavy-duty mosquito spray and bathe in it. Till then, that'll be a different video. Let's go back to Calgary and show you the cleanup from this. See you soon. Sweet, sweet freedom from mosquitoes. That was absolutely ridiculous, the amount of mosquitoes that were out there. But I'm safe in my own backyard, not getting bitten by mosquitoes. So let me show you where we're at here. I've already run everything through the cleanup sluice, and this is what I'm left with, which is just a little bit of concentrates. So I'm about to spoon these over my miller table. I've got a little pump there. I think it's 600 gallons per hour. I may be wrong. Basically what it does is it distributes the water over a bunch of little holes in this pipe. This piece of sort of miner's moss stuff is just to help make sure it's totally evenly distributed. That's not really necessary. And this is a Hobbyco cutting mat, or a meringue cutting mat. Same thing. I just got it at Michael's Art Supply. So you can see it's just like a little mat that you set in there. Key to making this work, you'll see how the water's coming out the bottom edge here, and it's like really nice, like in a sheet like that. You have to add some Jet Dry or whatever brand, some sort of a non-ionic surfactant. It just gets the surface tension out of the water so your gold doesn't float away. So let's put this first spoon in here. Careful not to drop any. I basically just set the spoon down like so and sort of spread it out evenly across the top. I don't go right to the edges because I don't want stuff getting stuck in those edges, because at the end of this I actually sweep it into the middle, lower the angle a little bit to make the water deeper, and then I will take my snuffer bottle to actually suck up all of the gold that we got from this trip. Looking at this right now, there's very little movement happening. So I need to increase the angle in order to get this to start clearing. So I've got a few various pieces of wood and shims and stuff to do this, but I'm just going to increase this with my hand so you can sort of see. And right there, you see stuff starts moving. You want to be right at the line where the black sand rolls off the table, but the gold stays. So I'm going to get this set up, put a few more spoons in, and we'll check back to see how good our gold recovery was from that second day of the trip. You can definitely see how it starts to add up in the middle. It's always difficult to tell just how much gold you actually have until you've sort of swept it up. My guess here would be 1 gram or less. But let's wait till I've fully swept it. You know what? That's like maybe a gram. There's still a lot more to sweep, and so it goes from almost invisible on the table to actually adding up to something as you get it all together. And we'll get this all together, and I'll show you it snuffering up, and then you can start taking your guesses. And there's our little pile. Snuffer everything up. Okay. Take the tube out, finger over the tip, shake it all down, swirl it a little bit, and you get the very last little bit out of this bottle, and you just sort of wash it off your thumb and into your tray. Inspect. We did in fact get everything out of here. Now this tray has your gold in it, so I'm just going to carefully pour the water off. Going to be a little bit wet still, but that's okay as long as I'm not losing the gold. You can just let this air dry, or if you're in a bit of a hurry, just a Bic lighter underneath here and just waft it around a little bit until everything disappears. Be careful if there's a big pile of wet gold and you hold the lighter right underneath that, you will get little pops and spatters, and some of that gold will spread and be lost. So I'm just going to let this sit to dry, and it should be no time at all. Always remember to label everything. So I have here day 2, Miner's Moss run. I'll get you this weight, and then the rest of it. So basically day 4, I'm going to do what was in the hopper total, the La Trappe total, and of course my final day, 1,620 shovels. Absolutely broke some records there. I think the gold looks really, really good. This should be a nice big pile to make up for this less than exciting pile this week. But we'll still get you a weight on this as soon as this is dry. Our total today would be 41.73 minus 41.22, which is pretty much bang on half a gram, or 0.52. Because I guess it just went up a notch. So half a gram of gold, better than nothing, but I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of everything I have labeled here. So next week we're going to see what was in the hopper, the La Trappe, and I just did this for all 4 days at once. So whatever little bits here, there's a little bit extra in the hopper, but the percentage the hopper holds really isn't that much. And day 4, the big thing here, I did 1,620 shovels in 1 day, and it looks like I did pretty well. Possibly set some records for the channel. So stay tuned for next week. Until then, thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day. Cheers.